What's up, everybody at home? It's me, Brian Parfmore, and today on Campfire Stories, we're talking about the vanishing hitchhiker. So, guys, remember hit that like button down right now. Hit that thumbs up. Press it right now. But let's go ahead and talk about the vanishing hitchhiker on Campfire Stories. I was driving back home after a work seminar out of town. It was a long stretch, and I thought I would just drive through the night to get back home. It was a narrow road, hardly any lights along the road. It was still a couple of hours until I'd reach home. And I was listening to the weird night radio at the local radio station. It was mostly static. Suddenly, I almost had to veer off the road. Right there, right by the side of the road, a girl was standing, her hands out hitchhiking. I didn't see her before my headlights shined right at her, making her appear out of nowhere. I floored the brakes when the car stopped. My pulse was going off the charts. My breathing uneven, shaken but unharmed. As well, I exhaled happily. I haven't ran her over. She was still standing. So still, just looking at me. Her thumb still held high in the air, waiting on a lift. I opened the door and stepped out. Hello, excuse me, but do you need a lift? She turned her head and met my eyes. She is wearing a white summer dress. In the chilly night, only a rugged denim jacket filled with patches of bands, slogans, shielded her from the unforgiving autumn wind. Are you okay? I asked, now beginning to fear I had scared her with the car. She was still standing at the side of the road, not moving. Can you give me a ride? She asked, when her voice was just a weak shiver. I looked around. There was nothing here. I had hours left before I reached home, and I was going to work tomorrow, but I couldn't leave her here. Not when I also almost ran her over. Sure, jump in. Where she started to move, she came towards me, not making a sound as she walked over the road. She got in the back seat. I thought that was a bit weird, but didn't say anything. Perhaps she felt safer at a distance. I got back behind the wheel and started the car. Where do you live? I asked. She didn't answer me at once. She was looking out the window. The moon was hitting only half her face. Take me home, she said, just a breathing. I wondered if I should call the police. Then clearly something had happened. I had chills and looked around. There was nothing coming from the surrounding trees but the wind's whisper. "Where is home?" I asked, just driving, looking in the mirror, trying to figure out what to do. She sighed. "The blue house. The blue house. At the right turn after the old bridge," she said. I had no idea where we were, but just continued forward, hoping to reach the bridge. Soon I looked back again. She was beautiful, pretty, in the sad way. Her face was pale, though, and she looked out the window, staring at something in the distance. Did something happen tonight? I mean, she turned her head and met my eyes in the reflection in the mirror. She nodded. "Yes," she said. "Just drive me home." We continued in silence a couple of minutes. Every other time I checked in the mirror, she was staring out the window in a daze. Other times she was staring right back at me. After driving for a while, we reached a bridge. "Hey, is this it? Is this the bridge?" I asked, and turned. It was like she woke from a slumber. She sat up and got sight of the bridge. "Yes, that is it. That is where it happened," she said, her low voice getting closer to me. She leaned forward to the driver's seat to get a better look. I could sense a smell, something sweet, something familiar. We were approaching the bridge. Where what happened?" I asked. "The smell of rot and decay." "This is where I died," she said, and I jumped, her mouth next to my ear. Her low voice, loud because it, again, I floored the brakes. The wheels spun, leaving black marks on the road right by the bridge. When I got control of the car again, turned around, but she was gone. Only her denim jacket was left. I got out of the car, but saw nothing of her. The forest around was dark. The night grew colder. I got in my car and hurried up out of there non-stop before I reached home. Days went by. I couldn't get the lonely pretty girl out of my head. I drove back and reached the bridge in daylight. I was able to find the turn she was talking about, and made it. When I saw the blue house, sighed with relief. Wasn't going crazy. She had really been real. The garden was overgrown. The blue paint weathered and needed a new coat of paint. I rang the doorbell and waited. With the denim jacket in hand, hoping to return it to the girl. I had met. But an old woman that opened, she peered out at me, looking at me suspiciously. Yes. Oh, yeah, hello. So I met a girl a couple of nights ago. She said she lived here. The older lady said, no girl lives here. It's only me, the old lady said. I was left confused and lost. The woman was about to close the door, then stopped, dead in her tracks. She opened her mouth, her eyes shocked. Why do you have that? The lady asked, looking straight at the jacket I was holding in my hand. Only, oh, this is the girl's. She forgot it in my car when I gave her a lift. The old woman before turned white. She had to support herself to stand upright. The door creaked and opened, and she leaned on it. And when it did, I saw the picture, a faded picture of a pretty girl smiling. The old lady said, no, no, that is my daughter. She died in a car accident on the old bridge over 10 years ago. Remember, guys, if you guys like the story, leave a comment. Like I say, guys, keep exploring. Try to keep it spooky. And guess what? Peace.